few things, especially along the line. I'm just trying to create a little bit of a I'm just trying to create something here. Just bear with me a bit. Yeah, we want to go through a few things here, and we want to talk especially along the line because one of the reasons why we spoke and said that little platform. You have any questions for me? You have any questions for me?
No,
Mm.
since we're talking about women.
Yeah, we want to set a bit of a platform because we want to highlight a few things, and as I mentioned a bit earlier, and I think that in a relationship, a man has got to start um, thinking. When I say thinking like a woman, I don't want you to get me wrong. A man has got to start to put himself in the place of a woman and try to understand certain things. And I think Roxanne alluded to it. Roxanne spoke about it. And when we were quoting, there are certain things that I try to understand. There are certain things that I try to get. There's certain information that I try to grasp from her. So we want to look at, especially like from a man's perspective, whilst getting to the point whereby you're an excellent provider, you're an excellent homemaker, and credit to a man. And we want to look at the responsibility of both individuals. But whilst getting to that point is commendable, there are some things that a woman require that you cannot physically touch, and we want to look at those things that a woman requires that you cannot physically touch. So we're gonna kick off and we're gonna talk about those.
Yeah, because a lot of times we talk about, oh, I don't understand women.
Mm.
Women are so difficult to understand. And same thing, women say, oh, I don't understand men, whatever, whatever. So tonight we want to try to make it a little bit easier because we're talking about needs of a woman, things that, everybody is different, and we don't like to generalize, but they are things that are common for women. There are things that are common between every woman that every woman desire because that is how we were built. That is how God designed us. And those are the things we want to go through tonight. And as I said, we love interaction. So if you are on, if you want to share something that you think we forgot or you want to add, you can go ahead and do that. But one of the number one, well, it's not in any order specifically, but one of the things that women desire in a relationship is security. And we're talking about security in terms of protection. She wants to feel that sense of safety in the relationship. Protections, I mean, in all forms, emotionally, physically, financially, psychologically. She wants to feel that level of protection. And that protection comes primarily from that commitment that she gets from the husband. She wants to feel that level of commitment. And that is because that is how, as I said, she was built. Um, Man was made first, she came along, and his job and his primary responsibility is to protect that woman that God has given to him. So women desire to have that sense of security. You don't have to be rich. A man does not have to have all the money in the world, but she wants to know that, listen, he is a hard worker, he wants to take care of the family, he's doing everything that he can to make sure that they're comfortable. So in her mind, she would feel secure. Security also comes when he is faithful. And that also is very important. When a woman can sit down and not have to worry about her husband, where he is, what he's doing, when you have provided such a safe place for her, that her mind is at ease, her, she's not wanting for anything in terms of needs. She's just settling her mind. She feels protected. She knows that you work hard. She knows that you're going out there and you want to make sure that the children are taken care of. A woman wants that level of security from a man.
Yeah, it's important that you raise that, because one of the areas that we were talking about, and I just completed a degree, and one of the areas that spoke about in psychology is the Maslow hierarchy of needs, and one of the key component of in the Maslow hierarchy of needs is satisfying that initial need: food, water, shelter.
Mhm.
That is the main thing. Once that is taken care of, everybody tells themselves, okay, well, everything else can fall into place. So if you have a man that is taking care of you in terms of protecting you and the security of knowing that you're faithful, I think that one of the areas that you should, that's one of the areas that you should start saying, look, God, I thank God for this man. I'm grateful for this
Mhm.
man and what he's doing in this area.
Yep.
Don't look at it and say, okay, well, you do this, but you don't do this. Just be grateful for the fact that he knows, like you're secure. This area is one of the areas that I think that when we speak with couples, and especially when we interact with husbands, is lacking, and it's affection along the line of, I think a lot of times, a man is kind of looked down on if he shows too much affection.
Mhm.
A man is kind of looked as a soft, and a man is kind of looked as punky. Now, as young as our boys are, 13 and 9, um, we train them. We train them in affection. We hug them. We tell them we love them. Like, we call Joel Huggy. Like, Joel hugs you about 2 or 3 times before you go to bed, and then he would push back his head in the door, and
Did
he
I
said,
hug you?
"Did I hug you?" So we want to talk about, like, highlight affection when it comes to man. Show your wife that you love her, and this is something I sat down yesterday while I was on the job, and I penned a Facebook post based on based on my interaction, and based on um, my communication with Roxanne. And one of the areas that I highlighted to is affection. A woman wants to know that she is needed. A woman wants to know that, well, look, my husband has an interest in me. So the affection involves hugging, touching, kissing, and it's not just, okay, well, I'm hugging you just because I want sex, or I'm touching you just because I want sex. You should be able to reach over and touch your wife. You putting your hand and touching your wife hand, touching her, like in a non-sexual manner, gives her the assurance, well, look, I am secured, I am safe, I feel like I am needed, I
Mhm.
feel that, well, look, this man wants me.
Yeah.
Like, she feels, well, look, with him, I'm his world.
Yeah, and it's important that you said that, not just for sex, because a lot of times you would find if you don't do it, when you do touch her, she's like, "Oh, what do you want?"
Mm,
So we want to get from that point. Even if that's the case now, we want to make it a habit so that you do it so much that she gets to the point where she understands now that it's not for anything.
yep,
You're doing it, and it's become a habit, and that's something that she would look forward to.
yep.
A woman wants leadership.
Mm,
A woman's want leadership, and don't get confused with leadership and control. She doesn't want you to control her. She doesn't want you to always tell her what to do, where to go, and what do you have on. What She wants you to lead. She wants you to take the lead, because that is how, even as a man, you were built. Um, there are times when a woman, if you left her without a leader, she's gonna become overwhelmed. So there are lots of times when a wife is left overwhelmed, not because she wants to be overwhelmed, but because if you are not stepping up as a man to lead the family, she's gonna feel like somebody has to do it. So she's now gonna become the leader by doing everything that needs to be done, and you leave her
mm-hmm.
overwhelmed. She tends to become what you may call controlling, because now she's making the decision because you're not making any decisions. She's now deciding this is what we're gonna eat, this is where we're gonna go, this is where we're gonna go on vacation, because you are not partnering with her. You're not coming together to say, listen, as the man of the house, make certain decisions, show that you are leading, and she will gladly fall back.
Mm-hmm.
She will gladly fall back. But if you're not doing it, then she's gonna take the lead. Even as I was thinking about this, I was thinking about Adam and Eve. God created Adam, God created Eve. He created Eve after as a helpmeet. And even if we look at the book of Genesis, we see how Eve was basically left to herself at one point. And look at the trouble to mankind right now.
Mm.
Because she was left at that point to make a decision that she should not have been making on her own. And because of that, we see the destruction in the world right now. So we want to make sure that as a man, we're taking our rightful place and being the leader of the household. She wants that. And a lot of times because we bring it over the wrong way and think that it's something that is controlling, maybe she might pull back and you might think, oh, she don't want me to tell her anything. No, she wants you to be the leader. And if you step up as a man and be that leader that God has created you to be, your wife will fall into place.
Yeah, and I know many of you might be sitting and you might be saying, oh, some women don't like to take counsel. So, we will deal with that at another time because, as I said, we're highlighting this area. So when Roxanne said she wants you to lead, a man is the head of the home, and God has given the instruction to a man. Say, look, be the priest, be the head of the home. Um, Love your wife as Christ loved the church and give himself it. So you're the head in that home, and you're expected to do your leadership duties. Now, real love. A woman looks for that real deep understanding love. Now, it was such a good thing when I found out that my wife don't love flowers. So all the buying of roses and so on, I know that I don't have to go and run and buy a bunch of roses, especially some of them roses little expensive. Um, just being there, just spending quality time with my wife, and it's something that is, you would say, it's not tangible, it's not something that you can pay for, but it's key for her. It's key for her in terms of that is her love language. And when you get to understand, and when you get to know what the love language of your spouse is, then you get to understand, well, look, this is what she's looking for, this is what she wants. Don't run out and do things and you don't know or you don't understand, and you say, oh well, you're not grateful, I do this and this and this. Get to understand what she is into. And real love, it means that you cut all ties, cut all connections. She comes first. She is el numero uno in my best Spanish, number one, and it should only be her. Make sure that you show her that, look, I am really into you, I really really love you.
Yep. And as he said, make sure you say it as well too.
Mm.
Because a lot of times we tell ourselves, she know I love her. I do this, I do that. She know I love her. She wants you to say it.
What make you think we'll come back here every night?
Exactly. She wants you to say it as well. So open your mouth and tell your wife, I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you.
Hola mi hermana, ¿cómo estás?
Communication is also very important. It is top on her list as well. And not only communication, but communicating well. A lot of times we find that men are very laid back, they don't want to say anything. Sometimes a man would only confess that, maybe something is bothering him if she says something is bothering her.
Mm.
So as men, we want to encourage our men to speak up you know, to be that, get out of that comfort zone and say something. If you feel a kind of way about something, you say something and communicate well. Good communication involves good listening. So we don't want to be listening just because, okay, I'm listening and I'm just waiting for my turn to say something back. No, we're listening with an open mind because I want to understand what my wife is saying. Because when I understand what she's saying, I'm able to help. When I understand what she's saying, I'm able now to give her whatever that is that she is asking me for. So, communication involves good listening, not bringing up things of the past and not saying, oh, but you do it too, that kind of thing. That's not good communication. We want to make sure we're listening in an effort to cause some kind of change to take place. Avoid phrases like, you always do this, you never do this. Instead, we want to encourage words like, or phrases like, it would make me feel better if you did this, or it makes me feel a little sad, or it makes me feel down when you do this, or I'm kind of disappointed that you would do this. Instead of just saying, oh, you always do this, and sometimes it's not, it's the first time. So we put the person down in such a way. So we want to make sure that we're communicating, we're not comparing ourselves with each other, and we're not comparing our spouse with other people. That, I think that's one of the mistakes we make when we start to say, you know, this other person did this way, or this person is not like this. No, we want to make sure that we are treating our spouse well, we are listening, we are communicating well, and making sure that, you know, we listen to fix the problem rather than listen just to comment.
Mm. In an effort to communicate and communicate your point well, and get to the point whereby it does not get offensive, because a lot of times there are some very, very hard conversations that need to be had.
Mhm.
And when you have hard conversations, especially if you get to the point whereby your body is tense, your lips are your lips are all very sharp, you clench your teeth, you know them kind of conversations whereby you have. If you're having a conversation that is uncomfortable, one of the things that breaks the ice between a husband and a wife, between you and your spouse, is when you're communicating, you touch. You say, well, look, one of the things, and when you're talking with someone and you're reaching out, and that's one of the things that we talk about, touch. When you're talking with someone and you're reaching out with them and you touch their hand, you touch the leg, and you're making that communication, you're saying to them, listen, I come in peace, I mean well. But when you get to the point whereby you talking and you're drawing back, and you're talking and you're pointing fingers, and you talk to them, you take off your glasses and you tear out your eye. Like, they know, well, look, this is a war.
Yes.
This is a battle. So right away defense comes up. And whatever you say, the response is gonna come back in a defensive mode. So as much as possible, use your words in such a way that you yourself can eat your words. Speak back to yourself the words that you're speaking out, and ask yourself, would I accept these words being spoken to me? And then you will see if you're doing an effective communication. Yes, Cheryl, or yelling. Yeah, that in itself is a no-no. Intimate conversations. I know a lot of times um, it is spoken, and I get the report. The only time my husband start whispering or start talking nice to me is when he wants something.
And it goes back to the beginning of the relationship too.
Yeah.
Because nobody mouth sweeter than a man that wants a woman. Everybody's baby and honey. And
you see, you have to learn like me. Your mouth supposed to be sweet from day 1 to year 18. so So you want to have that intimate conversation with your wife. Um, Flirt with your wife. Send her texts. Send her messages. Leave little notes and that kind of thing. Let her know how you feel about her. Tell her how good her body looks. You know, like we have a situation whereby now it's like, because of the rise of all these internet sites and all these pornographic sites, guys are there and seeing some images and just conjuring some images in their head, and they lose interest in their wife. They lose interest in their spouse because of the fact that you have some funny image in your head as to how a woman should look. Let her know that, well, look, I love to see, I love your body, I love, like, talk to her. This is what love is all about, the intimate conversation. When she starts to feel good about herself, then you don't even have to ask certain things in terms of even with initiating sex. She would initiate sex because she is understanding, well, look, my husband appreciates me. I have spoken with persons who say, well, look, I don't want to undress in front of my spouse because of how he looks at me, because of the things that he says about me. Don't let your mouth open up and ridicule your wife because of how she looks and because of her shape and so on. Find out from her, well, look, how can I love you better? How can I be more appreciative of you? How can I be there for you? Show that affection day after day after day. At the end of the day, what is going to happen? The woman that you saw when you first saw her, after a child or two, things are going to change. Her boobs are not going to be the same. Her body is not going to be the same. She's going to get a bit of tummy. But as I always said, and I one of the things I love to go after these internet bullies who like to talk about a woman's shape, and I ask them and say, look at you, like, uh, you're talking about a woman and you have a big beer belly done to you. So have these intimate conversations.
Yeah, and as you speak about body, a woman has that need to be accepted. She needs that acceptance. And if you are not giving it to her, somebody else out there might be giving it to her. And sometimes we wonder, oh, why did she stray? Or why did she leave? She desires that acceptance. She wants to know that you love her just the way you are. There are times when a woman, yeah, where she is, there are times when a woman will go out there and let's say somebody would criticize her. And she would say listen, my husband loves me just like this. But if you don't tell her that, and she's getting out there, oh, this is how you look, blah, 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 it's just a continual breaking down of her spirit. But if you tell her, listen, I love you this way, this way, this way, I love your broad nose, I love whatever it is about you, the world can say whatever they want to say, but she knows that the most important person in her life loves her just the way she is. We have to understand, even when we talk about acceptance, our wife, the wife is an extension of you. She is, um, in every sense, you're one. So you're criticizing your wife, you're criticizing yourself. You pull down your wife, you pull down yourself. So we want to change that and show her the support, even as she go after her goals and things that she desire. You are supposed to be that cheerleader saying, listen, you can do it. You're always good at this. Encourage her, show her that, listen, I am your biggest support and I accept you for who you are. I love the way you do what you're doing, and give her that support so she can continue to do what she wants. Because as I said, if you don't give her that support, somebody else is going to do it for you.
Yeah,
And you don't want that.
I love to just impromptu just show up and say, you look good, see. And she said, stop. so so it's like I I would be one of the first to say, well, look, let her know that you accept her, let her know that, well, look, you love her, let her know that, look, regardless of whatever, I am in your corner. I'm your biggest cheerleader. Um, a couple of days ago, we just decided we were gonna go out, and I know if my friend is listening, she wouldn't really mind. And when we got there, like it was a nice little quiet atmosphere, and then I saw a friend of mine, and she said, "What is it? Anniversary? Somebody's birthday?" And I said, "No, this is a nothing. Go out.
Mm.
We just get up and we just decide. Well, look, we want to go out, and this is not with the kids, it's not with any friend or anything. The two of you and the two of you alone. And when you go out, don't talk about work or don't talk about the kids. Talk about yourself. Have
That
conversations
same
about yourself.
conversation, those same intimate conversations.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Like it's very, very important that you spend quality time with each other, because at the end of the day, when you have two individuals that are working, and that is one of the things and we're gonna have another conversation about that. This is one of the things with me and money, because I grew up hearing people say, save your money, save your money. So okay, save your money for what? Save your money. You might want to go on vacation. When you're ready to go on vacation, you're going on vacation, save your money. Save your money. Save your money for what? For if you want to go out, you're going out, save your money. I mean, I am of the firm view that I have been placed on this earth and I've been given uh, a mandate as a steward to take care of things. But I am not gonna hoard up a whole ton of money and my
You enjoy
family,
your life.
yeah, my family is hungry. I don't have a good relationship. So you have a whole ton of money you're saving, and just to take out your wife and have a nice little dinner. No, 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 no. That money is for the insurance coming up in the next year. The insurance in the next year is going to take care of itself. God can provide for you. So whatever you do, find some time. I'm not saying to you, and we've always said, we're not saying to you, you have to go to a fine dining restaurant every night. There's some very, very good and affordable place that two of you can go and eat and have a good time, have a good interaction, even if it's just to go to see a movie. As I said, we have a ritual and we put this in place for years, every Friday night, as God would allow. The only time that doesn't happen is if I have to travel, which is not very often. Every Friday night, we sit and we have our fry fish night.
And watch our favorite shows.
Yes.
And we look forward to it.
Yes.
We look forward to spending that time together. And that's, again, husbands, that's a need for a woman to spend quality time. She don't want you to bring home all the money and I make sure you have money to go shopping and make sure you're not supposed to complain. No. She wants to make sure you're there as well. So as busy as you are, you have to take that time out to spend with each other.
And highlight to her, it's very important to highlight to her strengths. I know we are very, very good at critique. We're very, very good at saying, well, look, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do this, you don't do that. But what about the strengths? What about things that are done? What about things that you like? What about things that, like she does on a regular basis that you could highlight? There are things that I sit down and I would highlight, I would say to my wife, look, you can do this, you do this, you've done this, I appreciate this. And every time, as I always said, me and Roxanne can be, like we are miles apart from each other. Um, I'm very impulsive. Roxanne is calculating. So when I would say, let's run, Roxanne would say, make sure that the road is paved. But I would say, listen, let's run. We could deal with it when we get there. One of my friends said to me, I take what he said?
He only takes
He
calculated.
only takes calculated risk. He said, yes, he said, I only take calculated risk. He said, you are a risk taker, and that's what it is. But God has placed her in my life to balance me out in that regard. So those are the strengths. Those are one of her strengths. And I don't look at it and say, well, look, oh, you're holding me back. I look at her as my balance. And there are certain things that you might be going through, you might have, and then you would say, well, look, why don't I do this? But then, why don't you say, okay, well, let me ask my wife, let me ask my spouse, what do you think about this? Her bringing something else to the table would bring a clarity with what you're doing. So that in itself is a strength. So make sure that you highlight that for her.
Yes, she also wants you to be empathetic.
Mm-hmm.
She wants you to show empathy, especially when she's going through something. The things that she would share with you, she wants you to say, I am here, I understand. Um, Whatever you need, just let me know. Rather than sometimes as men, men would act so macho that a wife is trying to share something with them and they're like, forget about that, man. Oh, don't worry about that. Get over that. No, you want to put yourself in her shoes by understanding that even though as a man you might be macho, even though you might, let's say, sweep something under the carpet, that may not be her personality. That's not how she functions. She just wants you to know that you are there and you are saying, listen, what can I do to help? What can I do to help you to get through this situation that you're going through? Don't share her secrets. That's another thing too. Because she's gonna come to you. She's sharing her heart. She trusts you. Don't share her secrets, even in an argument. It's a secret.
Mm-hmm.
Don't share it. Don't bring it back up even to her. She wants to know that you are there. You care about the things that she care about. I commend my husband so many times. I said to him, you care about every little thing about me. If I hit my toe on James this somewhere, as long as I say, ow, he's like, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
It's not like he's just, oh, she business. Whatever it is, show some empathy, show that, you care about what she's going through.
Mm-hmm.
And as we spoke about many times here, there are things that she may not even tell you, but you're supposed to know her enough that you know even her body language. You suspect that something is wrong, and it shows her that, listen, this man is in tune, this man is connected, he understands me, he is making an effort to understand what I'm going through. He knows that if I come in and even if I smile, something, he knows when something is off.
Mm-hmm.
And it means that you are studying her. So make sure you study her, understand her. It cannot be after 10 years and 5 years and 18 years, you're still, say, oh, I understand. I didn't know you're going to. Why didn't tell me? There's some things that you're going to have to be so mindful of. You're studying her so much that she doesn't even have to tell you about it.
Yep. And last but not least, and I want to also highlight another little point. Um, she is looking for a partner. She's looking for a partner. The reason why we had this little chat before we started our whole program is one of the things I wanted to highlight, I wanted to bring out is how much of a partnership myself and this woman has. A woman looks for somebody who she can connect with, who she can share certain things with. And when she does not find that in her husband, she looks for somebody that she can connect with, be it a girlfriend, be it a friend on the side, or be it some other male individual. So she wants to make that connection. And if you get to the point whereby there is somebody out there that understands your wife more than you, then there is a problem. You want to make sure that you understand her. And Roxanne just said, I have touched Roxanne in the middle of the night, 2 o'clock in the morning, and asked her what happened. And she's like, what do you mean what happened? I say, you're not sleeping right. I know when my wife is sleeping, and I know when she is sleeping. So I know when there is something going on. And then she would probably say, there's something on my mind, and this has been bothering me throughout the course of the day. I know when she goes into silent mode. I know when she goes into chatty mode, because we are connected. We're one. So if she hurt, I hurt, we have a partnership. For me, she is priority number one. She is my first priority. I wake up in the morning, I think about her. You know, sometimes the children say, oh, something. But I always said to them, I said, listen, this whole thing with us and you is a totally different thing. They're categories. I have one wife, and I with Isabel, I can say I have one daughter. And then with the boys, I say I have one big son and I have one small son. So everybody has their own category. But it's important that you get into that partnership. I know that cares of life, rigors, work, and all that kind of thing can get all of us all muddled up sometimes. And I commend the man that goes out there and tirelessly make sure that he wins bread for his family. But hear my little advice, as much as you could listen to what I have to say. Don't go out to bring bread, or don't go and work 2 or 3 jobs to make sure that you put food on your table, and you're missing the most important component that you're working to get that food on the table. You're missing that connection with your wife. You're missing that connection. And I go to the next step, to the further extent, with your family. Be intentional. Make sure that you go after those things that we would say money can't buy. Make sure that you work those things that are not so tangible that you can't pick up and say, oh, I need an ounce of affection. I need to go to the shop to buy an ounce of affection. Affection costs nothing. Empathy costs nothing. Being there and being a partner costs nothing. And the things that we've listed, money cannot buy them. But they are very important.
Very important. And we want to be partner, as James said, in everything. Partner in finances, partner in the chores, partner in rearing the kids. We don't want to burden our wives. Tonight we're talking to the husbands tonight. There's going to be another time we're going to talk to the wives.
Another time next week.
Next week we're going to talk to the wives. But tonight we're talking to the husband. You don't want to burden her with being the one that has to be taking care of everything. She needs you to partner with her. She needs you to, if a child, she's dealing with something with a child, it's not supposed to be her burden. It's supposed to be something that both of you can come together, discuss,
Absolutely.
and talk to the child and deal with the situation. She needs a partner, and she needs a partner in prayer as well. She needs to have you there, and when she has something that she's going through that she can share with you, you can pray with her, and that is very, very important. You have to be a partner in prayer. You have to know how to cover your wife. when she comes to you, when she's going through things, that you can pray and hold her up before God in prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Very important.
Yep.
So
Yep.
let me just go over the points that we have. We're talking tonight about the needs of a woman, some of the needs of a woman. We talk about security. She needs security to know that, she's protected and she has a safe place. Affection, showing affection not only in word but in action. She needs you to be a leader in the family so that she's not burdened and feels like she has to do everything. Real love, the love, as we said, that God speaks about, that you would give of yourself for her. She wants you to communicate with her, let her know also how you feel and what are your likes and dislikes. Don't spring a surprise. If you have something that you want to share, you share it. So communicate well. She needs to have intimate conversations with you, not just in the time when you want to have sex with her or just something that you desire, but just to have those meaningful conversations. How can I be a better husband? How can I, is there something that I can step up in? How can I be of a better assistance to you? Again, she needs to have that assistance, attention, and your time, not just you being a provider, but to actually spend time with her. She needs to know that you have empathy for her when she's going through something, that you understand what she's feeling and not dismissing her feelings. And she needs to have a partner in you.
Yep. That's 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 a wrap.
That's a wrap.
We want to thank all of you who have connected with us tonight. I want to say a special thank you to Apostle Clifton Francois, all the way over in Barbuda, that is always there with us and connecting with us and giving us that platform to be on Abundant Life Radio. God bless you, Abundant Life Radio. And Ruth Mel, I know you were here last week and you're here again this week. It's good to have you, Kevon and Cheryl and Anthony Stewart and Sarah, my sister, and Laverne, and I see Stefan was online, and my cousin Maureen. She just came in, but Maureen, you know how it is. You can go back to the broadcast, and you can get to go through things. Of course, the broadcast is on. Oh, that's my food and nutrition teacher.
Okay.
Miss Jones, I did a banana bread yesterday, right? I have to tell you about this. I did a banana bread yesterday, and I did it with a little bit of a twist. I did a banana bread, and I had some mangoes, and I put in some mangoes, and then I had a piece of pineapple, and I chip up some pineapple. And I did some chocolate and some raisins and so on, and my wife called me back.
The best.
My wife called me back and she said, in the Antiguan terminology, she said, that banana bread slap away. So I want to thank you, for providing that foundation and for giving us those little tips. She was my food and nutrition and clothing and textile teacher.
Wow.
So she provided that platform, she gave me cooking skills. LKC,
good night, LK,
find
just
you.
woke up.
And somebody else is here, Amanda. Yes. we leaving.
Amanda, you can watch over. So we were talking about needs of a woman, and next week, Thursday, we're going to talk about the needs of a man. Thank you all for joining us. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.